You know how podcasts have cold openings where they just talk about some nonsense before the actual thing in the podcast?
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Those are really- This is the stupidest idea for the video yet. Welcome to the Rough Draft Show. My name is Ronnie.
My name is Zach.
Are we gonna cut every time we pass the microphone?
We only have one mic because obviously something has to go wrong when we're shooting a video. We got fucking hiked all the way out here. Here's some B-roll footage of us climbing the sand dunes. We hiked up for like an hour to get to this shot, and then of course one of my microphones doesn't work, so we got to share the mic this episode. Blame it on our equipment. There's sand and everything. We did this all for you guys. The real reason why we're here is to review the movie Dune. It just came out. Me and Ronnie were both really excited for it, and we thought it would be a really funny gimmick to come and review it at a real sand dune, but it ended up being a terrible idea. But we're here, so we gotta do it now. It took us so long to get here that we pretty much did the podcast on the walk, and now we have nothing to talk about.
This is the worst.
This is the worst video.
What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. I was really excited for it. It pretty much exceeded my expectations. I was really hesitant about Timothée Chalamet, but I don't know why I ever doubted him. He did a great job.
I love the movie. I'm not gonna lie, but the ending was the biggest example of blue balls in the history of cinema if they don't make part two. I don't want to say there's problems with the movie. The movie is like really good. The cinematography is great. The music is awesome. The music is great. Every performance is really good. One thing I'll criticize about the movie is that it feels very unsatisfying, but I think that's because it's a part one. It's not a straight up adaptation of Dune. It's supposed to be just the first half of the book. If you're watching this movie and expecting like everything to be resolved and to feel satisfied at the end, don't. But I think it's still worth watching. It's probably one of my favorite movies of this year. Bro, it's the desert. Ironically, it's really cold.
Yeah, even though we're in like a desert plain, we live in Canada and it's like 5 degrees outside. That's why Ronnie's wearing gloves. We're both wearing thick sweaters. I can't imagine what it was like to shoot the real movie in like the real desert. I'm pretty sure they went to Jordan.
3, 2, 1 spoilers. I think we both say, go watch the movie. So at the end of the movie, Zendaya says it's the beginning. And I was like, let's get the movie started, dude. I'm ready. He joins the Fremen, and I'm like, oh shit, let's go. He's gonna join the Fremen. I'm ready for another 3 hours of the movie. And then it literally just ends.
Yeah, like you said, it really blue balls you at the end. Like, it's a 2.5 hour movie. Don't get me wrong, it feels long. But at the same time, it leaves you very unsatisfied at the end.
What did you think of the pacing of the movie? Because I thought it was very slow, but they drip feed everything you needed to know about the world really well.
Right, we talked about this in the theater where I didn't read the book. I had like a small idea of what the movie was about and what the story was about, but you can tell that the movie was cut down. Like the first half hour feels really fast paced. They're trying to get you introduced to the world. They're trying to explain all this very new, weird fantasy ideas. It just goes scene to scene to scene. New thing, new thing, new thing. It's just all set up. Like the entire movie just feels like a one big setup. It might have worked better as a miniseries instead of 2.5 hour movies.
I was thinking that too. I think this felt like it would be a good television show. Honestly, it feels more like Game of Thrones than Star Wars. It's very slow. There's a lot of politics involved.
I want to talk about special effects. You know I like special effects, so I think 2021, I mean, people have been saying this for years, but really 2021, I think marks when we can do just anything. Like there were some shots where I was like, did they really build a city-sized spaceship and put it in space? There's a shot where the Baron's army comes and his giant Star Destroyer is hovering over their base and it's like in the sky and it's like it looks so perfect. It's so beautiful.
You know what shot stood out to me? It was the scene when they're about to go to Arrakis and they're on, Caladan, like the home planet of Paul. And then you just see a B-roll of the water, like, oh, nice water, right? And then slowly a fucking spaceship emerges. I'm like, wait, what? Is that just a whole spaceship? Yeah, the special effects really sell the scale and the immersiveness of the movie. We watched this in IMAX, right? This felt like it was just, you were just on the planet, dude.
Not only did the special effects look good, but they really chose their shots perfectly, because we were talking about how they set up the city when they're on Arrakis and you understand the geography. They set up the city and like we understand where the spice mines are. We understand where the armies are. You're like, oh cool, this will be fun. We'll get into the politics of Arrakis. And then the movie just completely turns, and right after they get there, they're just gone. Like they're all dead. The city is destroyed. That scene works because you understand what the city is like and how it's built.
Literally all of them die. Like every single person dies. You spend like half the movie with Oscar Isaac, and he dies immediately. And you're like, wait, what? I thought he was gonna be in the movie, dude.
He said something really funny about the Baron, the Stellan Skarsgård character.
In the movie, there's a scene where the Baron just sitting on his throne, right? And then he just fucking levitates out of nowhere, like fucking 20 feet in the air. I just thought he had like the Force or something, right? But then I read in the book, apparently it's just technology. He just has like air suspenders. So I guess there's no telekinesis in the Dune universe. Basically, the Baron is just so fat and lazy that he has to use fucking air suspenders to float around and walk.
They do have like some telekinetic powers where they can command you with their voice, and it wasn't just me, or that shit scared the shit out of me.
That scene when the witch lady is giving Paul the test, and she's like, "Come here, kneel."
There's another scene where Dave Bautista comes in. It's like his introduction scene. It's like his introduction scene. He's all quiet, and then he just starts yelling and screaming, and he's just like I noticed the entire theater jumped when Dave Bautista started screaming. It made me laugh so hard. I just want to say I'm loving Dave Bautista's career so far. I'm so happy that he made it in Hollywood.
Out of all the WWE wrestlers turned actors, like The Rock, John Cena, Dave Bautista is actually the best actor amongst the group. If you expect Zendaya to be in the movie, she kind of is. Actually, a lot of actors that you see on the poster, like Dave Bautista is in it for like a minute. Zendaya is in it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, even Stellan Skarsgård, Josh Brolin, they're like, I saw a TikTok that said they're just glorified cameos. I don't think that's true, but yeah, Zendaya's is.
I wanted to talk about Jason Momoa because, let's be honest, neither of us are really fans of Aquaman or his character. Solid dude. See interviews with him. Seems like a nice guy. But he always plays hot biker guy. That's really all he plays. He's like the coolest guy you'll ever meet at a bar. That's pretty much his character in every movie. But this is just a testament to how much a director can change the perception of an actor in a movie.
Jason Momoa, I feel like when they cast Aquaman in movies like, I don't know, what else is he in? Yeah, but like when they cast someone like Jason Momoa or Gal Gadot, it's like, okay, we're just casting them because everyone knows who they are. They're not really casting for, like when they cast Aquaman, they're like, we just want Jason Momoa in a superhero movie. But when they're casting Dune, they're probably thinking, okay, who would fit the character of Duncan Idaho the best? Like he's like battle hardened, but also kind of friendly. And they're probably casting for the character versus casting for the actor. What'd you think of the music? Because for me, dude, the music was so fucking loud, man. It was literally like groaning, like just horn noise for a solid 2 hours. We saw it in IMAX, and like we were right beside the right speaker of the movie theater. Dude, my head was ringing after the movie.
Funny story, we were gonna go see the 7 o'clock show, but for some reason it was like sold out and we couldn't get seats together. So we ended up going to the 10:30. So we had like 2.5 hours to go and do whatever the hell we want. And across the street from the theater, there was a lovely P.F. Chang's. And no, anyways, hold on. Let me just say, we went to P.F. Chang's and we had like a bunch of drinks. So we were pretty buzzed when we went to the movie. And yeah, the music was like borderline hypnotic. Like I felt like I was at a trance rave show or something.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, so Frank Herbert, the guy who wrote Dune, one of the inspirations for the spice, which is an important element in Dune, is probably like the most important resource there, is that the fact it's a hallucinogen. And Frank Herbert was just completely on mushrooms the whole time he wrote Dune. The best suggestion for you, if you really want to enjoy Dune to its maximum potential, go watch Dune dead at like in IMAX as late as you can. Just be on something, acid or mushrooms, or smoke a lot of weed. Watch it the way Frank Herbert intended it. One thing that I thought was cool about the technology of Dune is that you can tell it's the future because they have the hologram textbooks, and then the freaking shield that doesn't do shit. Just like, what's the one? The shield kind of blocks stuff, but not really. But then in the world of Dune, there's no computers, right? Because like they got outlawed, and everything feels super medieval because everyone fights with swords. There's no like laser beams like in Star Wars or anything, and there's no like robots or AI.
Yeah, there's no comedic droid side character, and there's no like fucking plasma rifles, and there's nothing like that. All right, well, we're very obviously Denis Villeneuve fans. Ronnie, what do you think of his filmography? Do you think he succeeded or failed as a filmmaker at this point in his career?
I think he's an overrated hack. All his movies are shit. No, but honestly, Yeah, even if this movie was bad, even if this was Denis Villeneuve's worst movie, it would still be a really good movie. He hasn't done any duds so far. Yeah, if Warner Brothers doesn't greenlight Dune Part 2, I will personally storm the Capitol. Do you think they'll actually make Part 2? Because I'm thinking about it, they haven't greenlit it yet, but they still, like, I know they haven't written the screenplay yet. They only have the story treatment.
Well, if I could say anything, I would say I'm pessimistic. If you guys saw the Batman video I did, you know Warner Brothers has fumbled the bag so many times. Also, if you look at the Dune track record, they tried it in the 80s. It sucked. It could have been good, but it wasn't. They tried it before that, and it didn't. They didn't even film anything. And now, is this movie just cursed? Like, is this story just cursed? Like, why can't they never just make this movie properly?
I don't know. I have a good feeling about this being pretty successful because, like, we saw at both showings that we went to, the theater was packed the whole way, and it was a diverse group of people. There were like teenage girls who went to see it for Timothée Chalamet. There were fat white dudes with neck beards who were watching it because it's a Dune adaptation. And then there were just general audience people. I'm just afraid that, because I think for this to succeed, you'll need to have like a lot of rewatches and mainstream audiences enjoying this. Do you think it's too slow for the average person? Because we actually watched it with some strangers beside us and they were dozing off. But honestly, I totally get why.
I don't know. I would love to see it. This is kind of my favorite genre. It's just like epic sci-fi, and there aren't a lot of good examples of it.
I bought the Dune book the next day after watching the movie, and yeah, there was actually a big group of people there who were also like, and I just went up to them and like, "You also watching Dune? You also watch Dune? Yeah, I loved it, man. I just got blue-balled at the end." And like, me too, man. That's why I bought the book.
I will say the movie is definitely worth watching. Please go support it because I really want to see part 2. I would hate to see this movie and this story and this franchise get screwed over once again, like the third time.
You guys should go watch Dune. The David Lynch Dune. We're talking about that one, right?